Let me tell you something. Bye, guys.
I cannot the rest. Can't test. Make we go in a delight, happy nice, lucky door. Set your pioneer.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Hena Bryan, aka Bookish Babe. You can see the girl has a new setup. This is my room, and you can also see, you can probably tell that my camera quality is like way better. I've got a new camera and some new gadgety stuff as well. It's been a while. To be fair, when you guys see this video, it's going to be 2021. God spare life. I am with y'all in 2021. It's December 20th, but I'm technically still on my break where I'm just woo-sighing and just allowing myself to just breathe, because YouTube and everything associated with YouTube and hypervisibility and being an influencer was stressing an introverted, quiet, I'd rather be alone, leave me the hell alone, babe out. But yeah guys, I thought that I would just come and I guess like reintroduce myself, because it's been a couple months, and I know that a lot of people have missed me because I've received so many messages on Instagram the few times that I've posted on my story, and I am here guys. It's just taken me a while to get back into it. I moved back to London at the end of October, so that was an extra stress that was added onto my plate, as well as my 9 to 5. And obviously, well, it's not obvious, it depends how long you guys have been watching my channel, but I also own a small independent publishing company, and we had a Christmas book published on the 1st of December, and I was super stressed about that, like trying to get everything off the printers, trying to make sure that the books were in the UK at the right time, then all of this financial stuff of sending books out, especially during a pandemic. Royal Mail has been royal mailing, and it's been really hard guys. I am easily overwhelmed, although I am like super like I'm a high functioning individual, and I have a lot on my plate, and I love being productive, I love being active, but I'm also easily overwhelmed. Like any slight sort of like fracture in my routine sends me spiraling. When I was in Birmingham before I moved to London, I was commissioned a lot, so I had a lot of videos that I had to produce, and I was doing my 9 to 5, and I was doing this, and I was doing that, and I was doing my business, and I literally fell off reading. Like I couldn't bear picking up a book and reading it. Like I was so overwhelmed, I was so stressed, and obviously that made me fall into a reading rut. And you know, if you are a bookish babes, if you are one of the bookish babies, then you know that when a bookish person tells you that they haven't read, especially for like a really long time, you know something's wrong. I was doing all this work and I did not have the brain space, the capacity to sit down and read a book, and that made me feel really crap. Therefore, if I'm not reading, I can't really come here and say that I'm reviewing or saying that I'm talking about books, and it just all made me feel really crap. I literally had a moment of maybe like a couple days, or no, a couple weeks, I had a couple weeks where all I did was cry about the fact that I didn't want to go back on YouTube, and it was because I just didn't know how to manage it, and I didn't know what I was actually doing, and that was stressing me out. And I hadn't read, because I was literally just there like I haven't read. Imposter syndrome was beating me in my bloody ass, and everything in life was just so much. Coronavirus is coronavirusing, my business was businessing, you know, we're just throwing in the we're just adding ing onto everything to make it sound active. Thankfully, like obviously I had a lot of friends who didn't pressure me. They were literally just like, sis, we'll support you through, like literally anything you do, we'll support you. They just allowed me to make the decision on my own, and to basically reignite my love for reading, because I feel like that's where a lot of my sadness was coming from, is that I hadn't read in ages and I didn't feel like I loved it anymore. So I was still in my reading rut, and what I basically did is that I tasked myself. It was maybe like 2 Sundays ago, I picked up a book that I wanted to read for ages, and I said, I'm going to read this book in a day. I basically sat down and I saw whether I could still read, like not like read, but whether I could find the energy to read, and I read. After reading, I literally sat down and said, wow, I've missed this, and I don't want to give this up because I really do love reading, and I really do love reviewing books, and I love coming here and just sharing that with people. I love encouraging people to read. I love encouraging people to write. I love encouraging people to chase their dreams and enter the publishing industry. I love seeing people get bookshelves. Like, I absolutely love it, and that is when I was like, okay, I'm not going to quit YouTube. I'm just going to find a way to make it manageable for me, especially when it comes to my social media. And I'm taking my time to basically put together ways as to how I can make sure that it's not as draining as it was for me at the start, in the middle, and towards the end of this year. I just thought that I'd come and I'd basically just share some books that I've collected during this time, books that I'm basically going to be reading. I'll be reading them throughout Christmas, or books that I've already read, or anything like that. But first of all, guys, the first thing I want to do is show you the book that I published. So my company, Bryan Publishing, published a Christmas book called Sealer's Gift to Father Christmas, and I just thought I'd come and share this with y'all. Like, honestly, this is one of my biggest achievements. I'm not going to show y'all too much in here, but it's just one of my biggest achievements. Like, I've published books before, but this one took a lot of strength. It took us 2 years to get from A to B, from literally concept to publication, and we've received so much love. And this Christmas is a bit of a dud. Whilst we did sell a great amount of books, it's just, I just felt like it's not that Christmassy. Like, I'm not even in the Christmas spirit because of Tier 4 and Christmas being cancelled. So next Christmas, in Jesus' name, we'll be back on it. But yeah, that's your future Christmas classic. I said it here first. Don't sleep on me. Don't do anything on me. If you see this on Netflix next Christmas, just know. Just know. If you see a Netflix adaptation, just know. But yeah, the book that got me out the rut. The book that got me out the rut, guys, is The Foundling by Stacey Hall. Now, guys, I previously read The Familiars. I don't know if I have that in here with me. I read The Familiars by Stacey Hall sometime in the past, and I absolutely loved it. I literally got through this book in like 2 days, 3 days, I can't recall. When I saw that she was publishing The Foundling, I bought it, and it's been sitting on my bookshelf for a while, and I was so excited to read it. Why? I do not know. I'm not going to use this time to review this book, because I don't even think I'm going to do a separate video to review this book. I didn't like it. I did not like it. The Familiars now, that is a bit of me. The Foundling, do you know, in plot and pace, there was just no point. It was flat. I just didn't see why the story had to be told. Like, I'm not going to lie. I didn't see why the story had to be told. Like, I was a bit confused, but that's the story. That's the book that got me out of my rut. So I'm still very much so grateful for the fact that it got me out of my rut. The book that I'm currently reading is, it's not here, but this is the Black Girl, and this is by Zakia Dahlia Harris, and this is the book, guys. I don't know if you guys remember when I did my video about the books that I was really excited about. This was on the list, and obviously this is a proof, so this is not out until next year's summer. I've been making my way through this, and I'm really loving it at the moment. Like, it is well written, the story is gripping. I just know that there is a lot to come when it comes to what happens in this book, and I'm probably going to do a review on this book sometime this year. But yeah, some books that I've acquired during my time off YouTube. Now, this was sent to me. You guys know I love Normal People, but Faber sent me the TV script for Normal People, and this is really pretty. I'm just here to show you guys this. Like, this has no relevance to me. I'm not going to read it. It's just a fantastic book to have. I know that a lot of people have read this book from my recommendation and didn't like it. Equally, some people have read it and loved it. It's just one of those books where it's an acquired taste. If you're a super fan, then you'll buy the scripted book. If you're not a super fan, then you won't, but Thank you, Faber, for sending me that. Another book that I'm really excited about is Toxic Childhood Stress. Now, guys, I'm someone who suffers from severe anxiety and occasional low mood. I'm also in therapy, and I just do a bunch of like mindfulness things to keep my anxiety as low as possible, but it is still really hard. And I've always said that I feel like my anxiety and my low mood and everything that I'm basically like anxious about in my 20s stemmed from my childhood experiences, and I've basically just wanted to learn more about how I can unravel all of this. And I did say I'm in therapy, so I'm unraveling, but I definitely wanted a piece of literature that was going to help me understand what was going on in my brain, what's going on in my body, why I feel sick sometimes, from a scientific perspective or from someone who's like a psychological perspective, something like that. So this is why I requested this book, and this is from Pan Macmillan. Is this Pan Macmillan? It's Pan Macmillan. So I'm really excited to actually make my way through this, and I will definitely be reviewing this because it's something that is quite close to my heart. Another book that I'm really excited about, and this one was sent to me by Orion, and this is basically Who's Loving You, and it was edited by Sarita Domingo. Now Sarita Domingo wrote that book that I don't like. What's that book called? It's the love one, guys. It's the love one. I forgot it because I didn't like it anyways. But yeah, this is edited by Sarita Domingo, and it's basically love stories by women of color. And you've got a bunch of people in here. You've got Kelechi in here, we've got Sarita herself, we've got Danielle Dash, we've got Dorothy Coomson. So we've got some big names in here basically, and they all have a short story of their own, and you can just read them. And this is all again about Black women and love, and like I'm guessing like sexual experiences maybe, I'm not entirely sure, but this is one that I'm also quite excited to read, and this is out in February 2021. So I'm probably, if I'm going to review it, it's going to be around like Valentine's Day. But yeah, that's another book that was sent to me by Orion, so thank you. So another one. So you guys probably saw the image that Mariah Carey posted up of her TBR or the books that she's recommending, and I absolutely love that picture. Like sis came through, like, yeah, the Queen of Christmas came through, like, here are the holiday reads, and I started reading. But yeah, this is a book that I really wanted to read. I wanted to read it for ages. I got sent the PDF, but I never got a print copy. But after I saw it on Mariah Carey's TBR/books to read list, I was like, I need to get it. And this is basically The Prophets by Robert Jones Jr. And this was published by Quercus. This is published by Quercus. I have no idea what it's about, guys, so I'm not going to sit here in front. I'm going to be reading this over the Christmas, and I will definitely be reviewing this as well. I've got so many books I want to review, guys. I'm really excited. But this was on my Mariah Carey's Christmas Reads picture thing. I didn't even know Babe was reading like that, but Babe's reading, and I'm really excited to read this. So yeah, the books that I'm going to show you next are books that were recommended to me by you guys. I remember going onto my Instagram story, and I basically said, guys, recommend me some books I want to be reading over Christmas. Like, I spent a couple months now not really reading, not having the capacity, my mind being fried, and now that I can read again, I just want to swim in pages. I just want to dive into literature and just zone everything out, especially with Tier 4 coronavirus, no Christmas, life has ended. I just need to be reading and just giving myself the escapism that the babe deserves. So I got so many recommendations, so thank you all for your recommendations, but these are the ones that I have selected because these are the ones that seemed more really interested to me. So the first is The Island of Sea Women. Again, these are just books that, like, I saw the title, I said, that sounds like a bit of me. That sounds like a bit of me. I know that it's about women in Korea, I believe. Is it? Yeah, in South Korea. And I'm really excited to read this book. And I'm going to be reading this over Christmas. So that's one book that was recommended to me by someone who follows me on Instagram. The next book that was recommended to me is The Death of, I don't know how to pronounce this. I think it's Vivek Oji or Ojai. Vivek Ojai or Oji. Vivek, you guys know how I am with titles and names and that. Don't know why you guys like to recommend hard books to me. Like, you don't know. I struggle to pronounce names. But yeah. And this one is by, oh my God. Listen. Okay. No, y'all be just Akwaeke Emezi. I feel dumb. But yeah, this is published by Faber and Faber. And Faber and Faber is basically my favorite literary house ever. I've never read anything that they've published that doesn't hit the spot, and obviously they publish normal people, and I've read like other books by them, and they're just extremely literary. They're extremely, like, when it comes to them acquiring books, I feel like they don't acquire this and that. They don't acquire anything for commercial purposes. They acquire everything that is just going to go down in history. And so that's why I actually got this, and 2 people actually recommended this. Actually, that's why I got it, because 2 people recommended it. And then when I read up on it, and so that it was published by Faber and Faber, I said, yep, give me some of that. That is me, thank you. But that's the other book that I've taken from your recommendations. And then there is this one, A Kick in the Belly by Stella Dadsy. And I definitely drew to this one because I had previously read The Heart of the Race, and that was by Stella Dadsy, and that's like Beverly Bryan. And one more person that I'm so sad to have to just not include right now because I've forgotten her name, but I absolutely love The Heart of the Race. I felt like it was a fantastic book. Definitely recommend that. That's non-fiction as well, and it's basically about black women's lives in Britain. And they literally, the 3 women, the 3 authors, they explore so much, guys, from beginning to end, from when black women came to the UK to where we are now. It is just a lot. My favorite chapter in that book is labor pains. I felt it. And also Black Girls in Education. I absolutely loved it. So that's why I took this one up, because I was like, that book was great. So I'm guessing Stella writes about the same sort of stuff in her other work. And yeah, so I'm really excited to read that one. And then this one is Copper Sun, and this is by Sharon M. Draper. And someone said to me that this is like the Book of Negroes, and I was like, okay, you know, I've read the Book of Night Women that was recommended to me. I absolutely loved it. Marlon James is fantastic. He's so talented, refreshing. I read the Book of Negroes, which I prefer over the Book of Night Women, simply because it's just easier to digest. And this is Copper Sun. There is no the Book of Copper Sun. It's just it's just Copper Sun. And I selected this because someone said that it's very, very similar to the Book of Negroes. And I like these I like to like compare books, so that's why I selected this book. But yeah, those are the 4 books that I bought based on y'all recommendations. And yeah, so I'm really excited to be reading these over Christmas. I received a lot of books, guys. I received a lot of books. Actually, let me share one more with you. So I put out a tweet, I can't recall when it was, but I put out a tweet about non-fiction books that explore the sexual experiences and sexual pleasure of black women, whether that's in the UK, whether that's internationally, just the sexual pleasure of black women overall. And I basically explained that I was quite frustrated with the narratives that come out about sexuality and sex and everything around that area in life. The only time that I've ever really read up on black women when it comes to sex in books is when it's like traumatic, and that really upset me, because I was just there like, no one wants to read about that. Like, that's all linked to slavery, and we just want to enjoy. Do you know what I mean? We now want to enjoy. And so I basically begged everyone and like, do you guys know any books? You know, something that's all about the thumping, all about the sex, all about the nasty, and in a good way, like not in a bad way, in a good way, to teach us, to, you know, tell us what's going on, tell us what we're missing out, tell us what we gotta do. And yeah, so someone recommended this book, which is A Guide to Sexual Health and Pleasure by Dr. T. Mufon. But yeah, I instantly bought this because I was like, sis is a big black woman. I'm in. All right, mother, I'm in. So I'm really excited to read this. I read the contents page and saw that this is a bit of me in terms of the chapters broken down. Let me tell you what sis is exploring in this. Oh, there's a lot as well, guys. Let me tell you, there's a lot. So sexual health, she explores stuff like the vagina, you know, how to keep it tidy, intersex, she speaks about penises, sadly. Menstrual health, she's talking about toxic shock syndrome, PMS, pain management, a quick autonomy lesson. Under medical conditions, she speaks about sex and menopause, sex and hypertension, sex and fibroids. These are things that we need to learn about, guys. And sexual pleasure, why the interest in sex, sexual consent, the big O, sexual fantasy, communication during sex, team lay a towel, anal play, girl on girl. Okay, guys, we're going in here. And then sexual rights, advocating for sexual rights, more than the birds and the bees, sexual work, sex work is work, LGBTQIA+, and there's so much more. But yeah, that is a book that I'll be flicking through this Christmas as well. And if I finish it and if I read up and like gain, like, I guess I learn enough, I'm gonna come here and speak about the history of Black women in the history of sex and Black women in literature and how that is depicted, and also the new things that I've learned and sexual pleasure and just being a young bookish babe trying to get it in. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking, guys. You guys can't take any. You're just always pulling on a joke. I'm joking. I'm not joking. But yeah. So if that book is helpful to me, I will obviously come and make it helpful to you guys. But these are all the books that I'm hoping to get through over this Christmas period, and these are the books that I can't wait to review. All of these here. Guys, look at these. Obviously there are loads more in my living room, but these are the ones that are on my TBR right now, today, immediately. Don't forget, if you go to sleep you won't read and therefore you might pass out. This is what's on my list. So I'm really excited to read all of these, guys, and I'm excited to come and tell y'all what I think about them. But yeah, I think that's it now. I've been chatting. The next video that I'm going to do is going to be on Gothic feminist literature, or just Gothic literature in general, bracket feminist literature. And a book that I absolutely loved when I read it, and I think I read it like maybe 2 years ago when I was an editorial trainee, and I can't believe I haven't come here and basically banged over your head and say, guys, read this book. I need more people to read this book so more people could come and speak to me about it, because it's a book that lives in my head rent free, where I'm just like, remember that was a good book, like that was good. So yeah, I can't wait to actually record that. But yeah, guys, that is the end of my video. I am so happy to be back, and I can't wait for all the content that we create in 2021. Please hit the subscribe button, share on Instagram, share on Twitter, share on your Snapchat. Heck, mention me in your Clubhouse discussions. And let's just get back on track, and let's just show each other love as well. It is a difficult time, so I hope everyone's well, and I hope that reading is providing people with escapism or some sort of relief, because life is hard, and I'm just sending love and positive vibes to you all. And yeah, until the next one, bye.